as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fridays with Pat. Thank you very much for being with me today. I want to welcome Bill Shook, Deshaun Tharp, George Brenning, the always reliable George Brenning, which, by the way, George got an email that you're looking to for last week's recording. We have it recorded, just so you know. I've got to put it in the back office, and I'll put both that one and this one up there later this afternoon. It does take a while to render, but we'll make sure we get you last week's video, because last week was a very powerful training session, because I brought a couple guests on. One was a client of ours, Jason Brown, out of our Northern California, and I brought a guy that I've run with for many years to talk about some of the other fundamental things that make real estate agents great. He really emphasized the underlying message was most realtors, I'd say most salespeople, when you really look at it, they don't prepare themselves to the point where they look at themselves like a highly skilled brain surgeon looks at their skill set, their capabilities, and so forth. That kind of esteem that goes into preparing to be the best you can possibly be. When you have that kind of mindset, you no longer feel like you're bothering people, pestering people, and you're really prepared. But also, we talk about the fact that most people, they don't know what to say and how to say it, or they don't know the implications, okay, of not saying the right things at the right times and not following a process throughout their communications with people, albeit either prospecting or when they're in front of people, okay, in open houses, which I'm going to actually talk a little bit about open houses today. And there's just massive rewards to doing that. And I'll share with you, for years ago, when I was trained to be a platform speaker, I was handed a 110-page script. It took me 3 months, but they said, you need to memorize this word for word. And we're not going to have you go up there and fail. They spent 20, 30 grand to put in a program on. They're not going to have a speaker go up there and come out with empty pockets, right? So to make it predictable and duplicatable to yield a consistent result, granted, you had to get the words down. And then I went through a whole training regimen about how I was saying the words, the tonality, the pitch, the style, the pacing, at times to be when to be excited, when to be quiet and slow, when to be faster. And so it was all done. And it was massive, massive training that paid me millions of dollars. And I do not say that lightly. And over the course of many years, of course, but I can share with you when I look at the failure of most salespeople, and again, I'm going to say salespeople, not realtors. I'm not picking on any one uh, class of people, if you will. They don't take the time to practice what they're going to say, and they'll just knee jerk pick up the phone. And when you do that, prospects own you, chew you up, spit you out, right? Now, I'm going to share a quick story with you. I think it's really relevant to that. Okay. This past last week when I was in Florida, you guys know I gave the presentation at a client's. Okay, I was in Florida at a retirement community. They had the showcase of homes, right? And they won an award for second place in terms of house and class. Okay, and they also won an award. This is again at nighttime. I actually had to accept one of the awards because the dad and the sons could not be there. I had to accept an award on their behalf, and they got the Realtor's Choice Award, which is an awesome thing, right? And I will share with you the experience I had throughout that day. And I'm not picking on anyone in particular, but I'm just saying overall, most people don't give credence or merit to structure of a sales presentation in any scenario and enter dealings with people, right? Because I've been hearing a lot, not just from them, but other clients that people are changed. People, they don't want to be called. It used to be back in the day, people can be reached at 5:30 to 7 o'clock, and it was a guarantee, and you could have a conversation with them. They don't want that anymore. You can't push. I heard these are fundamental beliefs, the things that I heard. You can't push people anymore, right? Getting a hold of people is tougher, and all these different things, right? Laid out examples, right? So I'm like, well, I mean, obviously I knew better than that because people haven't changed since the beginning of time in that regard. Everybody's driven by either one, gaining a benefit, or two, avoiding a loss. And everybody buys on emotion. If you don't drive that emotion, you're not going to get the result. If you don't drive clarity, and the number one thing people don't have is clarity of thought. And it's our job as salespeople to provide clarity of thought to people. So I sat there. People came in. There's prospects coming in the building, and it's a gated community, so we had to get in the van. Right when we get in the van, we were doing a tour around their community, right, and some rapport buildings going on, and then they go into a couple of their homes, and one was a $280,000 price point. One was $350,000-$400,000 price point, and the other one was the model home they just created, which is absolutely stunning. That was like $450,000-$500,000 if there's looking at the upgrades, right? And so I get in with one son and a group of people in the van, right? And he decides to take a left-hand turn and drives them to the oldest part of their building. I mean, before they even came there to the oldest section of town. Immediate emotion was, holy cow, these are crappy looking, old, outdated homes. Why am I going through this section? Right. The other son didn't do that. He knew better. Right. And then we finally went to the first home we went to was unfinished, no furniture in it. And it was just a beautiful home design. But if you're driving emotion, people have to imagine what it could look like if they owned it. Right. So I just saw these fundamental mistakes. But what I was looking for most was there a system and a sequence of qualified questions that allowed me the opportunity to determine whether these people are a complete waste of my time, because I know that, hey, there's a lot of people coming in. They're waiting for that van to come back up. They're waiting. I do not want to make a legit prospect wait more than 2 more seconds than they have to if I'm sitting around with somebody that truly is never going to build there, right? So there was no qualified questions. There was no sequence, no rhyme or reason. It was just presenting. And that, my friends, is most people think in terms of selling is telling. Selling ain't telling. If you watch the movie Boiler Room with Ben Affleck, which I love, it's not telling. And that's what 90% of people do. 90% of loan originators are out there telling realtors what great products they have, telling them they want to come and drop off rate sheets and hot sheets and everything else, right? Telling them that they're the best, telling them that they have lower guidelines in this product and they got this one, telling them all about it, right? But never really going through and fundamentally creating what causes somebody to choose you, which is the qualified questions, you know. Um, so there's just so many mistakes. And granted, here we are, you're with Spider Media, and, we talk about digital marketing, which we are going to talk about today, obviously. But we want to make you better. Period. My goal is to drive results for you. When realtors ask me, what should I be doing, and I get asked this every single week, so I'm going to address it right now in the group. Where should I be spending my time, Pat? Well, I mean, if I sat down and lined up a room full of people that were making $500,000 or more in this business, they would all say that 90% of my business comes from my database. Okay. Then the question is, what do you say to your database? How do you say it? When should you do it? How often, etc. Right? I look at your accounts. Even some people that are on this phone, I look at your accounts. I look at the last time you logged into your account. I'm blown away that is not a all coveted, all consuming. Data mining is my top priority. Generating referrals, pushing out content, saying the right things at the right time to the right people. I'm blown away at the number of people that forget sending out video email, have never logged in over the last 3 weeks into their account. I mean, that's the whole reason I wanted to build a CRM. I never wanted to be in the CRM business, guys. I really didn't. I'm a sales trainer and I'm a technology guy, but it was critical because if top producers say that most of their business comes from their database, then if we're really good at teaching sales and methodologies and words and scripts and videos and teaching that, we had to get in. So anyway, not to get on a tangent, but we have to start with our database. You have to start with communicating. Now, when you look at the number of times I've taught video email, right? Just this week, and I shared this with Jason, and I'll share this with you guys. I came across this article, right? Video marketing, the future of content marketing, right? Video content performs well on all devices. We know that most people are on their mobile device. Most people would rather click a play button and see your face than read through the pinch and squeeze articles, the articles that Constant Contact or Outbound Engine puts out there. I mean, those people are not on their mobile device. It's not user friendly to be in their communities or what they're doing, or even laying in bed and looking at their phone. They don't have their laptops on. They have their phones or pads, their iPad or tablet, and videos obviously works better on all those devices, right? Video marketing can help strengthen your brand message. When you use online video in your digital marketing strategy, you have the perfect opportunity to enhance your brand's message and drive your company's company persona home. Through simple things like design and branding and more advanced features like voice and content, video marketing is a tool that will strengthen your brand. We know that. Video content wants to go viral. So people like this is a key part. If people really like it, having the ability to have them click a button and share that, okay, with their Facebook friends, with their LinkedIn, or with, a tweet, etc., is so humongous for all of us on the phone. So that your face, your voice, your image is being spread throughout the community by other people. Remember, our goal is not just to hit our database. Our goal is to also hit our database's database. And when you really do good quality content, that's what happens. All right. So we know the value of video. I mean, you could read article after article out there. We know that video is important. Have you done the video? Have you pushed out video? Well, Jason Brown came on last week and put out a video. He sent it to a database. He got responses and he got deals out of it. We looked at his dollar per hour was in the thousands. How much time it took to create that video and hit that send button, and what he made in terms of commission, right? Now, granted, he's got to close on that particular loan still, right? But he got a deal from it, right? It works. What does it take for you guys to do that? And the question you got to ask yourselves is, if you know you should be doing it, then why aren't you doing it? And I think it's because we get into these habitual ruts of what our days typically just get absorbed in checking emails and busy work, right? And just paralysis from analysis. You have to get, pardon my French, your ass on the phone. You have to market to your database. That's funny. I'm just getting a call from Ryan Chido, who's in Fort Myers, Florida. He did 10 million in January and February of last year alone. I'm curious to see what he did in terms of volume. High producer, and he's not even 40 years old yet. Okay, why? Because he's always online. He's mining his database and centers of influence and referrals, right? So when we look at our database, we have followers, we have friends. That's why we blog, which, by the way, we're releasing another blog for all you guys today. Okay. And, we've got our database is not just our database. And I should add in here, our database is also our social media networks, right? That's why social media syndication. That's why, most of you on this phone chose to have us build your website so that we can push content to your website, which automatically hits all your social media, right? Social media content syndication. That is creating top of mind awareness with your database. And you need to do it all the time. There's an individual on this call 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, right around there, literally said, I feel like I'm bothering people when I do this, or I'm doing this too much. Fantastic. Take a back seat with those that truly, truly stress about making money and putting food on the table their entire lives. Okay. If you want to be a top flight sales professional, you have to have thick skin. You have to be okay with people telling you yes, people telling you no, but nobody telling you maybe. You have to be okay with frequency of messages always being there everywhere, because especially today, where we have more people qualifying for mortgages with guidelines loosening up, self-employed, and you have forming and non-conforming loans, right? We know that overlays are shrinking down, right? And not the floodgates, I would say they've opened up the gate so that more people can qualify. But we still have inventory issues. Those people still can convert into purchasing a new home, but we want to make sure we build our database of buyers. And how often should we keep in touch with those people after we've qualified they want a home? Well, that all depends on what they told you their time frame was. And if their time frame's in the next couple months, you're talking to them literally almost every day. Okay? At least a couple times a week. Right? If it's after 6 months, it's every week, right? So we know that. The question, again, rate yourself. You come on these calls to learn how much you to apply, right? Have you done on a scale from 1 to 10? And I'm not going to read your answers to the group. I want to ask you guys a question. I want you to give me the honest to God truth. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being lethal, on top of it, valuable content, valuable information, great touch points. How well have you communicated and added value to your database and social media centers of influence over the last 2 months? Give me a number. I see a 1. I see a 5. I see a 7 to 8. By the way, good morning, Sean Dooley. Thank you very much for writing that. I see an individual that wrote 8, but too infrequently. Okay, so it's not consistently. It's an 8. It's a 2. Well, the average then is a 5, right? Okay, 5. I see another person that wrote 5. Which that person that wrote a 5, I see that they're doing work. Okay, they're doing things. They're actually sending. This is a person who rated themselves a 5. That's actually, I've seen some of their emails, and this woman has done a pretty good job. One person said a 3. One person said 1. Right? Okay, then it needs to be. Again, in a case of low inventory, it needs to be a 10. Guys, listen carefully. It needs to be a 10. And that doesn't mean haphazardly communicate. It means gives real thought to what you're saying and how you're saying it and push it out. If you really want videos, if you really know that video is a greater open rate, get greater engagement rate, the chance for it to be passed on and go somewhat, I won't say the word viral, but networked through your community, because viral to me is hunt millions, right? we'll say viral within your community, then you really need to give thought to what it is you're saying, and you need to get past how you think you look on video and how you're judging yourself in terms of your words. There's nothing wrong with authenticity. People like you, they know you. You're not talking to strangers. You're just talking to people that have done business with you, that love to see your face and hear your voice. So I just had an individual say, just had a friend that posted they closed on a house yesterday. I texted him because I had showed him homes last year, and he said, "Sorry, dude, I forgot about you." Wow, what a wake up call that was, right? And the person that wrote that, I applaud you for saying that, because you're losing more business than you guys realize because the store is closed. I mean, think of a retail shop. If you get out of the car and go to a retail shop and it says, "Sorry, we're closed," you don't even go in the store. You cannot buy. In a pure sales world that we live in order for the store to be open, you have got to be putting those open signs on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Google, on your website, on the phone, right? Uh, do more. Do it. Relentless pursuit of getting your face in front of people. You can't lose. You cannot lose. And then what happens is, once you become the man, once you become the woman, once you become that ace, you don't have to do as much of the grind, because people will come to you. You've had a brand. You're known as the top person. You have a team around you of people that are also promoting your name relentlessly throughout your community, right? That's where we want to get to. But it's doing the grind work and being okay with 15 people brushing you off, or etc. And I will tell you, once people, 90%, I was talking to Joe just the other day about this. I said, most salespeople, because we talked about, Harbor Hills, our database has thousands of people. I said, you know what I should do? I should pick up the phone and just start calling this database and go through it and pound it the way I know how to pound it, with skills. And, I looked at the number of homes they've sold. I looked at their potential. They build a rock solid house. It's a beautiful community. I'm like, how can I get them more business? And I literally am still thinking about whether I should go spend a day, pick up that phone, and absolutely hammer that phone with my skills, my energy, my emotion, right? And show these guys that there's money in that database, right? One person said, I sent a video email in November, December, and February. The highest open rate was on your tax reform bill. I got clicks on my video. I got clicks on my blog where I was posting. So it's obvious that content has a big effect on the video. Well, Lee Dickinson, who said that, first of all, Lee was up my telling me, hey man, give me that tax video. I need it. I want to do it. I want to send it out, right? He gave me a nice compliment on it because it was well written. By the way, that was original content. I wrote it. I put my heart and soul into really a read that wasn't a nosebleed CPA type read, but it was really hitting on the things that people really wanted to know or were afraid of, right? As there's so many, mistaking beliefs out there about what the tax bill did and what changes were actually made. While I'm here, okay. Again, me and my centers of influence, my core leaders, the people that I trust and respect and admire the most, we've been sitting around talking about what we can do to help people. What changes should we make that'll drive a result for people? Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think it'd be valuable to you guys, right? I'm going to take one area. I'm going to take your database and the online marketing, okay, which is number 3 here and number 1. Those two areas, right? And if we created world class content and did world class video with tremendous research that brought tremendous value, and at least once a month, maybe twice, we created a world class video, and we gave you guys the ability to do the intro and then the end, so that your database was still seeing your face, hearing your voice, and it looked like you did this great research and produced this fantastic video, which, as you guys know, video is $1,000 per finished minute when you do it right, animated, edited, etc. Right? If we did that for you guys, if that was our deliverable, if that was a bulk, we still had the CRM, etc. Right? But if we shifted from saying, guys, you have to do this, you got to produce content, you got to put it out there. Would you guys see tremendous value in that? Do you think that that would be like, oh my God, if you did that for me, my business, that would be awesome? Just yes or no. I'm just curious because that's the direction where we've been discussing. Just a yes or no. Uh, Somebody said not yes, hell yeah, yes, yes, yes. Um, well, just so you guys know, we're with our seminars, we're targeting, high income areas, California, Washington, D.C., Connecticut, because our price point for that is going to be, as sure as hell, it can't be $69 a month, right? But for you guys, I'm not for my clients that I'll call them grandfathered in to the initial concept. We're going to do something, right? We're going to do something. I don't know if it's pay $30 more a month or something that's nominal, but I'd like to be able to offer that to people that bought into this initial concept. But guys, it may be nothing, it may be nominal, right? Whatever the case may be, I want to do more. I want to make sure that you're partnering with a company that, come hell or high waters, if you don't have the expertise, that we are hitting your database. Because if you're not, on a scale of 1 to 10, hitting it on a scale of 10, we want it to be a 10. All right. So that is what I think we want to do. So guys, let me just ask you guys a question. All right. Are you guys tracking me so far? Is this a good direction to go today? I want to make sure that if there's certain things I'm going to open up the floor for, things you guys want to see. This is a coaching day. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to hit and answer your questions, but are we okay with the direction I'm taking this call? Are you guys okay with this? Yes or no? Okay. All right. Because again, technology, I want to help you. The main goal is to help you succeed, period. Okay. So when I look at where should you be prospecting, your database, number 2, areas of town you do well in. If you actually did a heat map of where all your deals came from, you're going to find that you're really good in a particular niche market. So really focus on that niche, right? Number 3, online marketing. We know that. Number 4, open houses, right? And then after that, you real estate agents, okay? FSBOs, expireds, just listed, just sold, the network groups. I know Joe talked about that last week. He actually introduced some really, guys, there's nobody better at scripting than this guy. I mean, he's the best I've ever seen with his words, right? Which some other things that we're going to do for you guys is really break down all facets of these things and give you guys scripts and dialogues for each one of these things: expireds, FSBOs, just listed, just sold, and then what you do to capitalize and maximize and stand out in these network group meetings that you guys have and go to, which you should. Okay. So I want to talk about the sales process real quick. As I mentioned earlier in this call, most people, they do very minimal job of building rapport. I take for granted, because I'm a fantastic rapport builder. I think it comes from my upbringing. My mom, my dad, I didn't grow up in a house that was racist. I didn't grow up in a house that was judgmental. I didn't grow up in a house that says only hang out with this kind of person. I was the guy that could relate to the burnouts, the druggies, the athletes, the nerds, and everywhere in between, right? And and I truly love people, and I think that this is really given me a fantastic ability to develop rapport and have established common grounds with people, right? Where most people stink at selling, where most people really are never taught, is the qualify. I tell you, and I've listened to so many salespeople that said they're great at selling, they're fantastic at selling. That will say things like, I close almost every single person I sold. And for that individual, I tell you this: your activity stinks. Because if you have a 95% closing ratio, you are simply not getting in front of enough people. You are only getting in front of people that your comfort zone will allow, because you feel the yes coming on. And of course, you want to get in front of people that tell you yes and say yes to you and want to do business. The ultimate greatest referral ever, right? And so if your income is not where it needs to be, but you have a 95% closing ratio, take a look at that, put your ego in the trunk and say, I got to get in front of more people, turn more rocks over, and just do the work, right? Hit the phones, hit the bricks, right? Hit online marketing. Be everywhere all the time, right? To qualify is, in simple terms, as my mentor, his name is Joe Gianni, taught me, the qualify is where it's where emotion is driven. It's where a clarity of thought. An unclear mind in the profession of sales always says no, and maybe means no. We know, and these guys at Harbor Hills, if they don't get the next step defined, whether it's a signed contract, a deposit, or the next meeting completely in their calendars, the chances of them ever coming back are slim to none. Right? So I don't. Yeah, you have to push people to commit to something because they're going to be gone anyway, right? So swing the bat, right? The qualify, as Joe Gianni taught me, is taking people from and identifying very first point A. Where are they now? So if I was the one doing those tours, right, and at Harbor Hills, right, and it was all to do, but not just take over and say, let me handle this prospect. I really truly wanted to do that. Okay. Um, so where are they now? After you've built reports, so tell me, where do you guys currently live right now? Where are you at? Well, we're in the villages. It's 50. Oh, you're in the villages. Hey, yeah. What do you like about the villages? What drew you to the villages? What led you to actually build there? Well, we love the activity, the golf courses. Oh, you're a golfer. Golf's important to you. Yeah, great. Okay. Um, we really like the shops and the restaurants and so forth. That's awesome, man. I can tell, and I always sell big person bigger. Don't ever diminish the competition, right? I think it's fantastic too. Candidly, if I was 80 years old and I said I was out there and I had the ability to go out there and play a hardball game with other 80-year-olds, that's my idea of retirement. I think it's awesome too. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. What else? Well, well, that's about it. Well, they're going to interrupt you and they're going to go to what they don't like right away, which is why they're there, right? What are some of the challenges in terms of living there that you guys have seen that kind of led you here? Well, it's really crowded. The houses are cookie cutter. I mean, I could see, my neighbors making breakfast and so forth, and I said, okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how important is having space? Great. It's a 9. See, I'm qualifying. It's a 9. It's a 10. Oh, it's a 10. Okay. What about your lot size? Now, again, I'm going to ask questions. Now, I'm funneling them to where I want them to go because I know that Harbor Hills has humongous, beautiful lots available that nobody has in Central Florida left, and I tell you, they're fantastic. What about lot size? You guys have a fairly good sized lot. No, it's a 1/3 acre lot. It's really small and blah blah blah. Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, just curious, guys. And some people say they don't want big lots because they don't want to maintain them, which we can talk about. But you like a fair amount of room. Is a lot size important to you? Okay. What about beauty of the lot? You mentioned golfing. Do you guys are you currently on a lot where you can wake up and see the golf course? Is that important, you guys? Yeah. Okay. Great. Now I know. Now I'm asking these questions. I know what they're going to tell me where I should be driving. Right. Well, I'm in that van. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? Now, guys, sometimes, especially here, when I do these, this is my qualified question where I'm going to tell whether I'm going to waste my time or not, or spend more than I have to with these guys in a van. Because I sure as hell I'm not going to spend an hour with somebody that truly is not going to be a great prospect for me. But they may down the road, they'll be in my database, my system, where I can drip them, call them when I have downtime and so forth. But I need to know right away because there's people at that front desk waiting for me to take that next bus tour around, right? All right. So, and then my brother's going to be there. So I want to make sure I beat my brother to the prospects that want to buy. Right. So I want to know this. Is this from time to time, guys, when people come to the Parade of Homes, they're looking at the designs, they're looking at seeing how they can beautify their own homes, etc., or they're seriously considering a move? I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, where do you guys put yourself in terms of your sense of urgency to kind of get out of the villages and go somewhere else, be it here or somewhere else? That answer is everything to me. Right? It's everything to me because it's easy to say on a scale from 1 to 10 because they can just give you a number. You're not asking them to elaborate because, let's face it, they still don't want to completely open up to me. Right? Great. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do based on what you told me here. I want to show you a particular area of our development. And based on the house size that, again, I'll ask a few more questions. What size house are you in? What are you guys looking for now? Do you looking for more room, less room, about the same? Right? So now they're basically, what I've qualified them to tell me is, show me a lot on a golf course that is a home that is roughly 3,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet. Great. I know that I'm going to take them to the Arezzo 3 model, and I'm going to show them the Arezzo 3 that is the most decked out, gorgeous, beautiful Arezzo, because I'm going to talk to that owner and I'm going to say, if I get a hot prospect, would you mind if I use your home? If I didn't have a model that was decked out, finished, that's what I would do ahead of time, right? I'll throw $100 down that person's pocket, because when you're looking at $100,000 profit, not a big deal to buy them lunch, take them to golf, do whatever. So, um, so I'm going to show them that, and I'm going to drive that emotion. I'm going to go through that area with, because emotions are transferable with the level of emotion. By the way, on a scale from 1 to 10, what I saw last week in terms of emotion and intensity and enthusiasm, it was a negative 300. Okay. And as I'm doing that, I'm talking about the woodwork. I'm talking about the differential. I'm going right at the villages. Do you see this woodwork here? Do you see this mitered window? You'll never get that over there. When we come in, although we have models, we customize the model to, like, for example, this is John and Mary's house. They wanted this, they wanted that, so we built that. So we take a custom approach to an existing model. So every single one of the things I share with you today can be completely customized to you. I'm going to show you, take a look at this, get in the car. Now I want to show you 3 lots. Now, if it's 100, it's 3. I'm going to show you 3 lots that we have available right now. Okay. Because they know that 150 people are going to be coming in today. And if they don't get that, I'm going to create urgency. Right. Those lots up there, so if they see a row of 100 open lots, which, by the way, there was like 30, right, that are all open. Right. But I'm going to say these 3 lots are open. It's a little bit more money, but not so substantial. It's a no-brainer. Okay. And we could talk about this, but this lot here overseeing the fort, this one's open, that one next to it's open, and I'm going to take you to one more lot. The rest of these are all taken for. All right. I have 3 lots available on this hole, which, if it were me and my family, this is exactly where I'd build, because I want to wake up to people on the putting green. Right. I know, and this particular lot I like because, people are taking their approach shots. Okay. It's not the drive. It's not the second shot, which could hook into my backyard while I'm, into my screen or whatever. It's approaching the green, which more shots are going to be either in the bunker or on the green. So I don't have to worry about the golf balls and stuff like that. But look at how beautiful this is. You're overlooking the mountains. So you see the golf course, and beyond the golf course, you think you're in the Adirondack Mountains. How beautiful. And I'd let them sit, and I would shut my mouth, and I would let them look at that beautiful so that they can visualize themselves waking up to that lot and to that home they just sold. If they ask me for price, I will give them the base price. I will not, period. Because if you hide that, then they think you're trying to get them, right? How do you guys like this? Is this something you can see yourself being on? Right? And if they've gotten that far with me, if I don't get one of 3 things: a signed contract that day with a deposit, a meeting later that day after they need to, huddle, right, that day or tomorrow, or the worst case, I'm going to go for next week. Okay. Those are my closes. And I've followed that process. The objections, they're always going to come out with objections. They're always going to come out with objections. I don't really care. We got to go take a look at, Ashton and these other communities. Fantastic. Once you're done with looking at them, how soon are you going to hit those places? Well, we're going to go today to Ashton. We're going to go tomorrow to such and such. Fabulous. Can you meet me at 4:00 on Sunday afternoon? You know what I mean? I want to right then and there. Guys, that's not being pushy, because you've qualified them. You're only pushy when you haven't earned the right, and you haven't earned the right when you haven't asked them what they wanted. They've told you, we're looking on a scale from 1 to 10. We're an 8 in terms of our sense of urgency. We want to get out within the next 6 to 12 months. We want to build a house versus resale, right? And they've told you that. So it is your right to push them to commit to that next step with you. And if you don't close them 3, 4, 5 times on something, then you are not going to make big money in the profession of selling, right? So if they don't qualify, if their walls are up, if they're not answering questions, if they're sitting, we had a couple up there, and they were from Detroit. They didn't want to answer questions. You know where they're going? They're going to the model home. Here's the model, blah, blah, blah. A couple quick questions. I'll be polite to them. Guys, as you can imagine, there's 180 people today. We got a touch point a lot based on what you guys told me. Now I'm going to put it back on them. Based on what you guys told me, I'm assessing the fact that you're really just here, just looking. You're kind of feeling out the area, but there's really no sense of urgency. Am I correct? Now that is called the takeaway. I've basically told them I'm carting your butt back to the clubhouse, and you can go back where you want to do. All right, your day's yours. Based on what you told me, and I also may add this in, based on guys, I've been doing this a long time. Based on what you guys told me, based on your tonality, your pitch, and reading your body language, this is not something you're really serious about, et cetera. I've got 162 people. I've got a show today. Am I correct in assuming that? And if you deliver it in a professional manner, and you just basically told them, hey, your walls are up, you're not answering questions, I don't have time for you, right? One of two things is going to happen. I will tell you, in the profession of selling, guys, more times than not, when you take away and you literally say, I'm out, more times than not, people are going to say, oh, no, I sorry, no, we just, we didn't get a lot of sleep last night, or, we've been to so many places where everybody was doing this, that, and the other thing, and now it's all going to come out. And so many times have I been in scenarios where I just took the sale away from them because if they don't, my mentor taught me. I remember going into a meeting where the prospect didn't qualify, and I was going into pitch mode. I'm like, I need the sale, man. I'm going to try to get them anyway. They didn't qualify. My mentor literally put his hand like you would on, if you're growing up, in the Ford Torino when the seatbelt wasn't on, you got your dad's hand across your chest, right? He put his hand over my chest and said, "Pardon me, Pat. It's time for us to end this meeting and go out. Mr. Johnson clearly said that he's not da 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 da. Mr. Johnson, we thank you very much for your time." I mean, maybe one in 50 people literally let us walk out the door, and that's okay, right? That's okay. Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice in the health industry, and that's how you guys should look at it. If they're not diagnosed, if you don't diagnose them properly, you can't prescribe. And more times than not, people just do. The wall's up, the wall's up, the wall's up. They don't want to be sold. They don't want to be sold. The wall's up. Great, I'm out of here. No, sit down. No, it's not what I'm saying at all. Well, these are things I need to know. And I will use those words in sales calls. Okay, guys, in the medical field, prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. I never sit and waste anyone's time, and I hope you can appreciate my respect for both your time as well as mine. If I knew that these are the certain things, and if I felt as though that we can get you to point B, I need to know what point A looks like, so I can tell you, because I could take you here, I could take you here, and I don't want to just go through a litany bullet point of everything I do, how I do it, etc. I want to be very clear with my time and bridge the gap between where you are and where it is you want to go, so I can help you get there and show you how my product service can help get you, or how I can get you there. Okay. So let me just look. I've been ranting. Okay. All right. So, all right. Okay. Let me move on. Over the last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of realtors say, guys, and by the way, open houses, sometimes if you don't have a lot of pipeline, you got to go to open houses, right? Now, we want you to be listing agents, of course, but sometimes you got to do the dirty work, man. And you got to do it skillfully. You got to do it with a plan. The most prepared mind wins in sales. It's by having structure, by having questions lined up, and by taking people down that chute. Take what I just said, apply that to open houses, and watch the results. Now, how do most open houses look? Okay, you're sitting down. Is that good physiology or not? No, you're sitting down. When they enter not standing up. You see them coming up the driveway, your butt's up. Now, most of you would stand up, but it's amazing how many times I've seen realtors just sit down, right? And the first thing they ask you to do is sign in on the form and put their information down. And my friends, is that not asking them to do something before you've earned the right to ask them to do something? Right. So immediately you just put the wall up in them, because people don't want to fill out forms and put their data down. The first step you should take is build rapport. I would never, if I was a real estate agent giving open house, the first thing I'm not going to sit there and why? Because I've done that before, right? I've sat there and I collected names first. I got to get the names, got to get the database, that's the number one focus out of the gate. Get that, haven't felt, then let them show. Now they're in complete control. Nope, just looking. If you don't mind, my wife and I just want to, okay, take your time, go to look, right? Then you're standing there on your cell phone looking like, all dressed up with too much perfume on and waiting for them to come back. And now it's an uncomfortable thing and they're out the door, right? That's a shit lead, my friends. I'm not, pardon my French, right? I'm not going to do, I would rather in that open house know that I've qualified and got somebody that's truly interested in working with me, right? Then follow up with 10 people that I did not build rapport with, I did not qualify. It was extremely uncomfortable. They left there, and now you're going to go out and send them 16,000 emails for the next 3 days if they gave you their email. And chances are they gave you either somebody they don't like's email or they did give you a bogus email, right? So the first thing you do is build rapport and set the emotional climate of the room. So many times when people's walls are up, when I did free programs, guys, free seminars, oh my God, are you kidding me? For years, I was on a plane 3 days a week, 4 weeks a month. I did 96 events a year, right? Every single 100% of those audiences when I came in, typically the top producers were in the front row and their emotions were great. They're open, their notepads are ready, they're ready to take notes and learn that day. Everyone else, arms are crossed, crushing their third bagel, right? Sitting in the back of the room with the most negative, skeptical physiology ever. And I loved getting those people to go from so what to me too. Typically, about 15 minutes into the presentation, I took that individual that was leaned back, crossed arms, to leaning forward, taking notes, and emotions are transferable. You have to set the emotional climate and make sure that to expect people's physiology to be off, because when you walk into a shoe store and the shoe store salesman says, "Can I help you out with something?" it is human nature to simply say, "Nope, just looking." So while I'm qualifying, while I'm showing, and by the way, I'm not going to let them say the words. I'm not going to let the words come out. If you don't mind, we'd just like to take our own tour, right? Guys, I tell you what, this is an absolutely beautiful house. I'd like to show you a couple features. I think you'll absolutely love it. I think you'll love it. I'm not sure what, but let me ask you guys a first question before I go. If you were to name three things that are like really important, they're must-haves for you guys, what would they be? Whether it's an open kitchen, a big master, a big great room. What are the three? The school district. What are the three must-haves for you guys? Right. All right, great. So they're going to say, you need to know if they're really just looking or they're a legit prospect, right? Their time frame, get those things out. John and Mary, if you don't mind, I've been doing this a long time, and I found that once my clients must-haves, I found that when I asked that question in terms of must-haves, there's really only 3 or 4 houses in this local community that really fit what you're looking for. Can I ask you guys a candid question? Are you currently working with a buyer's agent right now? Let them respond to that. If I may, I once I really get a list of the things that people are really looking for, I do a massive search. I spend a lot of time, energy, and effort into really qualifying out and showing my clients the houses that fit that criteria. And with this market, with the geographic, there are many, many areas. And to save you from going into 100 different houses, would you be open to allow me to do a little bit of research on your behalf and show you guys a few houses I think that you'll like based on what you told me? Yes. Fantastic. What's your close? What's your close? Right? So it may be, if it were me, once you leave, there's downtimes, there's uptimes. I'm going to be showing this house to some other people today. And granted, you're going to gauge that house too. They're interested in that house, obviously, right? That's a given, right? Um, but and I can't cover all this in our time frame today. But and I want to move on because I have insurance. I got mortgage professionals on the call, right? What is your close? My close would be, John and Mary, I'm actually going to open my computer during my downtimes today. I'm going to go to work. It may take me an hour. It may take me 6 hours of research. But if I can find you 3 homes, is it okay if I call you today? Yes, great. What's the best number to reach you guys today? Then you look down at your paper, your pen is in your hands, and they have to give you that number. And if they don't, see you later, never calling you, put them in your email, drip them, whatever. Okay. Okay. Awesome. It's 585-755-5515. Okay. Very good. Awesome. I'll tell you what, I'll go to work. I'm going to call you back. And if I feel like I've got something you guys should take a look at, maybe you've already known the properties identified, maybe it's not. And I'll give you a call back. Now, perfect. This is my number. Give them your card. When that number calls, will you guys do me a favor and pick up? Yes. Now I'm qualifying them. Now they told me they're going to pick up. Now when the call comes, they got to pick up. And you're going to convert more people that actually do because they feel like they have to because they said they were going to, right? And it's all in the delivery. Some people say, "Oh my God, I could never do that." Right? It's all in the delivery. Again, do you see yourself as a surgeon, or do you see yourself as a pushy salesperson? Right? So now you're going to do the work. Well, if you really boil down, you're working for them. You're now working for them, and the only way you're getting paid for that dollar per hour is if they actually you find them a home and you get the 3%. Right? You're doing it on the IFCOM. You're doing it ahead of time, and you can tell them that. And that, my friends, is how you handle professional selling. But for the God's sake, build rapport with people. I don't think there's yeah. So when we come back, it's 11:48. When we come back, and this here we are with the Spider CRM, and again, your website and social media syndication is very, very important, right? And I'm looking at Sherry Wakowitz, Sean Dooley, Scott Simpson. I think we built your website, right? Regina Medina, I know. Patty Walbear. Okay, Patty, great to have you on, right? Um, not Miguel, not Michelle. Lee Dickinson, right? George Bredding, Earl McCoubry, Diane Cahill, Deshaun Tharp, Bill Shook. We built your websites for you, right? Um, so let me just go to somebody. Give me your URL. Somebody give me your website that we built for you. Give me your web address, would you? I want to go to your somebody else other than Jason's. I go to Jason's all the time. I think he's done a great job with it, but okay. All right, so I'll take a look at a couple of them, right? For sale by Scott.com, right? Okay. What I would have, I would have other listings up there, Scott. You can send a message to us, good, write a review, get some reviews, right? Good. I know you're very new with this. I know it's brand new. I would also recommend under resources, find out if one of these tabs can have the blog. You know what I mean? Right there. I don't mind it there, because typically people aren't going to go to your website, go to your blog. Your blog is going to be something that is pushed in front of them through your social networks, right? So it's not a big deal that it's there. Good. There's a call to action, and there's the tax bill explained that I wrote, right? Very good article. All right. So there's activity here, right? To the real estate market forecast blog, right? So there's activity, credit reports, liens, judgment. So good, there's activity. Let me look at somebody else's. So when it comes to, guys, how do we help you? Let me go to DianeCahill.com. Let's see. Diana, Caugh. Okay. Good. It's clean. Well, guys, when you look at a website, you look at the most important thing is how it looks from a mobile device. Okay. So this is awesome. Okay. When it comes to database management, can I ask you guys, all of you guys, okay, to create a video email you pour your heart and soul into creating a video email that reaches people with valuable content. Now, again, without going into a whole training on this subject, you guys know that I teach. There's 7 core topics that you guys can pick from, right? As well as putting the intelligent link together. Let me just find this one slide here, right here. Oh, by the way, I tell this story about Carlos Justo. What I didn't know is my buddy Joe knows Carlos extremely well and better than I do. Right? I tell the story about how this guy came from Cuba and all he did was he banged the phones. He started doing the program that we teach, right? Reaching out to people, adding value, recommending home vendors, etc. Build himself up to become the number 1 realtor in the country at one point, right? So yeah, I learned a lot about Carlos this past week. I didn't know, but it's these 7 topics, right? Home savings program, Hey guys, I wanted to reach out to you. It's Diana, and here we are. It's March. Although we just got just a terrible snowstorm. There's six. By the way, we did last night. We got a foot and a half of snow. Kids are home from school, right? Although it's March, then there's 16 inches of snow out there today. It's time to start thinking about a landscaper. And again, I talked to you guys about a program. My intentions with this program, and the reason why I reach out and put people together, is because I want to help save you 20 to 30% annually on your home spending. Below is one of my landscape guys, or two or whatever. His name is Mark Mitchell. In terms of whether it's getting the mulch down, trimming up your hedges, getting your yard looking really good for the season, or actually cutting your grass. They do a whole full service thing. But if you mention my name to him, he's going to give you a 25% discount by being a client and being part of my program, my advocate program. Please, by all means, give him a call. Guys, also below, you're going to see a link to an open house I'm running this Saturday. I don't know if you're looking at homes or looking to buy or maybe even sell. There's two links. One is to the open house, which if you click on the link, it's a virtual tour of what this house looks like. If you know anybody that's buying a house, if you wouldn't mind, forward this to them. The second one is a free home evaluation. I just sold a house to Sammy and Johnny Lunch Bucket, and I'll tell you what, the house sold for $425. They walked away with $125,000 of equity. We sold the house in a week and a half, and it was just a fantastic story. And where they started is like where many of you guys start, not knowing what your house is actually valued. It was valued much higher than they originally thought. We got maximum price because there actually is an inventory problem out there. So it is a seller's market. I'm offering a free home valuation. If anybody really would like to know what your house is currently valued at, just to know, by all means, click on that link, put your name and information. I'll give you a shout. So now you're putting two intelligent links out there, right? And what's cool is that we know how intelligent links work. I taught it 2 weeks ago. There's training inside this thing, left and right on intelligent links and video email. That if you've got a workflow automatically, so that if you send this out to your 300 clients in your database, or even 100 or 500, however many you have, there may be 18 people in your to-do list to call because you got 18 people that click on your home valuation. You got 14 people that clicked on your open house video. Now you should be scripted up because words matter, what to say, when to say it, right? Do not just call and fumble and mumble through your words. Drive emotion by being scripted. Boom, you pick up the call the next day. John, hey, it's Pat. How are you? Good. Hey, listen, I know you're busy. I want to take too much of your time. I sent a video email out. It looks like you watched the video and you also clicked on my open house this week. Just curious, because some people that click on the link or just want to go through and look at different houses, different designs, etc. Or some people are actually serious about buying. Which one are you right now? Where do you fall? No, you know what I mean? I know. Boom. I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to hit my phone list, right? I only have an hour to get on the phone. So I want to qualify people out quick, right? Well, if you're interested, come by the open house. I would love to have you. It's going to be this Saturday. Come join me, blah, 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 right? If you know anybody, by all means, if you wouldn't mind, pass this video on to them. Be scripted. If they click on the free valuation, I'm really at attention, right? John, I saw that you clicked on my free home evaluation. It would be an absolute honor to come over and sit down with you to really go through. There's a couple things I'd like to do for you. I'm going to do a little bit of research ahead of time. Do you have time this Saturday? I got two openings. I got one at Saturday at 10 o'clock. The other one is, this, Thursday at, 4. Do either of those times work for you? Right? The alternative choice clause works, right? Book the meeting, right? Do the research and get your listings, right? It's you don't know, but again, to Scott Simpson's point earlier on this call, his buddy that he talked to a year ago ended up using another realtor, right? Because it wasn't there, right? So this is prospecting with a purpose. You never just want to put a video out there. You want to have an intelligent link to every video, do some kind of upsell. So you're taking these concepts, right? By the way, when I did this for Joe the other day, we were at Barnes and Noble, and he was blown away. I mean, blown away with technology and doing this program. And he and I used to teach it from just home savings alone, and we see that, hey, you can do other things here: health and wellness, personal finances, travel, funny, personal development. These are the 7 core things that people really want to know, right? And your intelligent links are, if you're a realtor, it's driving them to an open house link, driving them to a free evaluation link. If you're a mortgage professional, it's should I refinance? It's It's mortgage for self-employed. It's a couple different areas. Guys, you're going to see a couple links below. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not, but I'll tell you, a lot guidelines have loosened. In our particular area up here in Danville, California, just came out with a product where you get the rate, it's a jumbo mortgage, but the rate of a conforming loan. It just came out. What that means is houses over $453,000 can qualify for almost the same interest rates as those conforming smaller loans, but it's actually a jumbo loan. It's a special program. If you're interested, if you're in the market for a house that's over 453,000, you've got to click on that link, right? By the way, that's true. Jason just came out with it. United Wholesale Mortgage came out with that product just the other day. Bump, bump, bump. It's fantastic, right? So now Jason's like, how do I market this? I got a flyer and a video from United Wholesale Mortgage. How do I market this? You market it everywhere. You get it on a video email, which he's already done and sent to me, and he's going to send it out. Number two, you market it on your blog and you syndicate that through all your social media. If we build your website, that happens automatically, right? You get it out everywhere, but drive emotion with it, right? So that's one thing. The second thing from an online marketing perspective, if you're a real estate agent, market homes listings you have, or even homes that you don't have. You're sitting there, I'm like, I don't have any listings. Great. Go to your MLS, grab a beautiful looking counter, take a look at this house, market it, put it on Facebook. If you're a real estate agent, right? Just listed, just sold, obviously, right? Just listed is more of a conversion lead, right? Just sold is more of a branding reach, right? Your blogs are more branding, but your video emails are branding, but it's really conversion because you're putting those intelligent links out there, right? It doesn't take a lot of time. This is called cross-channel marketing, guys. And I'll tell you, there's a couple different trainers out there there's ones that I completely disagree with, and there's some that I really, really like. Okay. The guy that I really like he and I are complete agreement with this. There's no one channel you should focus on, guys. Not today. There's no more home runs. There's only base hits. So you have to be everywhere all the time. And when you look at your given week, when you look at your schedule, okay, ask yourself, am I doing high path activity? What is high path activity? Prospecting, follow up, running appointments, right? Those are the high path. Prospecting includes marketing, right? So what is it? What did Pat say? Well, we talked about the four things. We talked about marketing to your database, right? Here they are again. Let me see if I can find it. I put it towards the end. All right, there's your database. Online marketing, open houses. If you're a mortgage professional, take out open houses, put in my realtors, and put realtors number right underneath database in terms of priority. But are you going to your realtors? And I've got to speak to my loan officers on the call right now. Are you going to your realtors prepared with a script where you're adding value to them? Or are you going with product pitch ideas and bagels, right? Because they are getting absolutely flooded with product pitchers, right? And it's almost uncomfortable. Their physiology's poor. They're gripping right now. The refi's done. They've done nothing. Most loaners do nothing to drive their database, do nothing to drive anything. They sit back in their office looking at the stock market, all suited up, right? Waiting for those realtors to call, right? And when the refi market's there, the calls are coming in. They get a lot of refis. They get a lot of traction, right? But now, with inventory where it is, right, they know they got to work. And now you got to build that momentum. You got to hit the phones. But they've never done it before, so they're weak at selling. They go out there and drop bagels and rate sheets off, and it is just an absolute disaster in terms of the results. And then what do they say? There's no deals out there. There's no deals out there. It's tough out there. It's that. When the reality is, they have not honed the skill sets or built up or internalized the things that make peak performers peak performers. They've not thought of ways to add value to realtors. One of the greatest ways to add value to realtors is to learn digital marketing. Because Jason Brown did, and that's what he talks about, and he engages every single one of the realtors because when he does things like video email and when he sees that he's active with his blogs and they see that stuff, right? Even the ones he doesn't do business with, they see it. And then when they meet, they ask him, what are you doing? Who's doing your marketing? Who's doing this, right? Right? So What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Time's gone by. It's 12:02. Okay. Um, Yeah, so Lee Dickinson said, not sure what you mean by funny in terms of categories, but April Fool's is coming up. Is that a good time? I always tell people what better time than April for choosing the category of funny, right? And if you're really not a funny person, don't try to be. Take something that's YouTube or that you really like that's funny and just send that, okay? But if you got really good things to say, or if you're a good storyteller or a good joke to tell that's clean, right? Go ahead and send it out. All right, great time to do funny April Fools, and if it's really funny, it'll get passed along. Okay. Um, so Jesse Bell says, what does a script look like to a realtor? Which script are you referring to, Jesse Bell? When you're approaching realtors, is a loan originator? Is that what you're asking me? Can you guys? Oh, okay. Well, Jesse, you know, um, it is determining the value that you're going to add. You have to think of things that you can offer them in terms of value, right? Because I'm an internet marketer and I know this game, if I were to dive into mortgages, right, and do mortgages tomorrow, I'd pick up the phone and I would get a realtor on the phone. John, how you doing? My name is, by the way, I do want to meet with brokers. I do. I definitely want to earn their trust and credibility and result. I'm going to have the conversation I'm going to have is about their people and making their people better. Well, I'll tell you what I would do, knowing what I know. Again, this is just one idea, but you can come up with ideas to add value to help better their business. But I would actually call, Pat Fenton up, and I would say, Pat, listen, man, I'm looking for ways to bring value to my realtors in my community. And I've been to your program and your seminar, and you guys do a fantastic job. It's great value. I can't articulate the value of what you guys do or digital marketing in the fashion that you do. Would you guys be willing to come to my market to do a program? Yeah, great. Let's put it on the schedule. Blah 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 blah. Here's what's involved. Here's what we need from you, Jesse. Got da 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 da. Great. Now Jesse's going to go there. He's going to get tickets. Pat, can you actually give me physical tickets? Yes. Great. Ship you out tickets. Boom. Jesse's got a stack of tickets to a program that's going to, emotionally drive people. It's a networking event. It's all about generating business. John, so if I was calling an individual realtor, I'm sure you get a call right now, especially now you're getting calls from a lot of loan originators. And in fact, I'm almost guarantee you work with somebody and maybe have two or three great relationships in things you've been doing with many loan originators for many years. Um, would you be open to sitting down and have a cup of coffee with me? I put together an event here locally that is designed to help realtors really fundamentally understand what it takes to win online, to generate leads online. And this is something that I went to, and I'm not asking you for business. I'm not asking you to send me loans, but I would like to talk to you a little bit about the event, talk to you a little bit about what's going on, and see if that's something you'd be interested in. You know what I mean? Do the same conversation with the realtors. Just get the meeting, book the meeting. Don't maybe not even mention it. Probably, in fact, now that I think about it, I probably wouldn't even go into that detail because that could just cause objections. John, I'm sure you get a lot of calls from a lot of real estate agents wanting to get in business. They pass out rate sheets, get loans, so on and so forth. I put together a program that is designed to generate you business. How you can get more business in a digital marketing fashion, blah, blah, blah. Do you have 15 minutes to grab a cup of coffee? I'll tell you a little bit about what it is I'm doing, how we're helping realtors get more business. And in 15 minutes, you'll know if it's something that you're interested in, something like that, right? So, but again, I'm taking a internet marketing lead gen approach to realtors because that's what I know. You know what I mean? There's something else of value outside of products, rates, or terms. That's the only way you're going to get in. So, yeah, maybe I may also do a Facebook ad in a video and target all the realtors. I may do a Facebook ad like, hey, watch this video, right? You can record one of these sessions using Camtasia, right? Record it. Hey, top trainer Pat Fenton talks about digital marketing for realtors, or top sales fundamentals for the top 1%. So you can actually set it up so that there's a free video, 35 minutes or an hour, right? So all they got to do is put their first, last name, and email address in. They can watch the video, right? Put that on a Facebook ad. And they get that now you know who watched it. Boom, they're putting an autoresponder. Now you have something. How'd you like the video? Right? There's something I would like to share with you because I think I'm able to get this individual actually to come to town to actually do a presentation. I think you'd absolutely love it. Now you got something to talk about, right? So, you know, there's a lot you can do, but you have to be thinking about adding value. If you want the top realtors, if you want the people that are sitting around the office waiting for you to come in, they're waiting for that up, waiting for the phone to ring. Those are not the type of realtors I want to network to, right? So, that concludes today, guys. And I want to reinforce, and I hope you know that, you know, my job is to make you better. And with everything that we teach, whether it's database management, online marketing, the Spider Pro CRM can help be the driving factor and or supplemental factor in each area of these businesses. Open house follow-up workflows, right? Video email for database management, online sales funnels and landing pages for online marketing, Facebook's ads, and if you're, you know, or you can create it in your website. So you want to combine a strategy that includes both high touch with high tech, right? And it really doesn't take much. It's simple. Okay. So, guys, God bless you. Have an awesome weekend, man. If there's something we can do for you, you know, let me know. But we want to help you. You know, that idea I had where we're putting out high quality, high videos. We're looking at May realistically for a launch of that, because we're actually going to be going to Cupertino to talk about some companies that are going to be, you know, potentially creating product for us that makes our video email look, you know, like JV, you know what I mean? Because we want to do something that is just going to be different, not bomb, not what we do. I mean, just something that is just lights out, you know? So, guys, if there's something that you need, okay, if you want us to build your website, write the word website. If you want to talk to us about your website, we haven't built your website, write the word website. It is a sin that if we haven't built your website, to not have us build your website so we can push content through every single week. Look for that blog. I'm going to release it later today, guys, and as well as these 2 videos, and we'll talk to you next week. Next week, I'm going to bring a guest on. We're going to go strictly on the topic of internet marketing next week. Okay, guys? Have an awesome day. Thank you very much for joining me. I sincerely appreciate your time. Take care, guys.